Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I've posted a few videos here before, but I may have even deleted them by now. So, um, we're going to keep this short and sweet. I just finished Lunch Poems by Frank O'Hara. I'm going to read the little blurb on the back and then just kind of go from there. Often this poet, strolling through the noisy, splintered glare of a Manhattan noon, has paused at a sample Olivetti to type up 30 or 40 lines of ruminations, or pondering more deeply, has withdrawn to a darkened ware or firehouse to limn his computed misunderstandings of the eternal questions of life, coexistence in depth, while never forgetting to eat lunch, his favorite meal. So like that says, a lot of these poems, I don't think all of them, but I think a lot of these poems were written while the poet was just at lunch, or on his lunch hour. He would stop by like a sample typewriter, like sort of like a floor model, just to try it out, and he would write a poem. The earliest poems in this collection were written in '53, and the last ones was written in 1964. There were a lot in 1959, 1960 era. He wrote, looks like, a lot of them in those 2 years, but there are some earlier and some later. Yeah, there is a subtle seriousness to a lot of these poems, but there's also like just this sort of goofiness to a lot of them as well, this like casualness, like this one titled Poem from 1959. Wouldn't it be funny if the finger had designed us to shit just once a week? All week long we'd get fatter and fatter, and then on Sunday morning while everyone's in church, ploop. So you have something like that, and then you have something near the end that's still kind of got some humor to it, but it's a little more, just a little more to it. This one is also called Poem, from 1962. Lana Turner has collapsed. I was trotting along and suddenly it started raining and snowing, and you said it was hailing, but hailing hits you on the head hard, so it was really snowing and raining, and I was in such a hurry to meet you, but the traffic was acting exactly like the sky, and suddenly I see a headline, Lana Turner has collapsed. There is no snow in Hollywood. There is no rain in California. I have been to lots of parties and acted perfectly disgraceful, but I never actually collapsed. Oh, Lana Turner, we love you. Get up. So sort of like just hearing something or like having like a headline in the newspaper or something can take you to a different place, sort of what I got from that one. But there's also like there's a lot of the poems are kind of short, like a page or two tops, but then there's one that lasts for several pages that I thought was really good. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. But yeah, it's just he's just sort of ruminating, pondering, as the back says, on all sorts of things, from just casual everyday thoughts to stuff that's just a little more deep. And yeah, I enjoyed reading through this a good bit. I do like these editions, these Pocket Poet series published by City Lights. I thought they were kind of weird at first, like the way it's almost like a square instead of like a more, quote, normal book. The first one I read was Howl, the Ginsberg poem, and How and Other Poems, the collection, in one of these editions. And yeah, I think they're kind of cool. I want to collect more of them. I've got several of them down there. I've also got the City Lights Pocket Poets Anthology, the old version, not the new version. So it doesn't have it's not quite as up to date as the newer version is. But yeah, check this out. I actually read some of these poems in that anthology, which is why I picked this up, because I liked the ones I read. So I would encourage you to get that a copy of the anthology, the City Lights Pocket Poets Anthology, whichever edition. You get the old edition on like eBay and stuff. The new edition will be in a better store. Like here around the Jackson area, we have Lemuria Books, which is really good. Has an excellent poetry section and a little Beat Generation section as well, where you would find something like that. So, sort of look at your local stores. Always good to shop local. It's not always possible because sometimes you don't have stores around you and whatnot, but I like to support my independent milk store as much as I can, within my own budget and capabilities, as I think everybody should. But that's something for another day. For now, we're just lunch poems. I don't have a whole lot to say other than that. I'm sure I could think of more to say, but I wanted to keep this short, and we're already going on 6 minutes. So, I have a podcast. If you want to hear me ramble for longer about certain fictions or poems, novels, whatever, I've got a decent amount of episodes over there. I publish every Tuesday. Occasionally on like other days of the week, like Friday is usually a good second day if I have 2 things planned that week. So yeah, go check that out, Cafe All Lit Podcast. I'll leave the link down in the description. I'm a YouTuber now, so like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see where this thing goes. If nothing else, I can come back in a few years and watch myself talk and act silly. So yes, the podcast is much more serious than this, by the way, but that is something else.